President Barrow is due in Banjul tonight after a week-long state visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Gambia's army chief calls for unity among security forces in maintaining peace in the country. And the Fisheries Minister on Monday appeared before lawmakers in Banjul to clear the air on the countries facing bilateral agreements. Well, these and more coming your way in Gambia 24. It's 1934 according to our studios in Banjul. This is Africa TV. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. Now, the President of the Republic of Gambia, His Excellency President Barrow, left the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for Banjul on Tuesday morning. During his visit in Saudi, the President met OIC chief to discuss Gambia's hosting of 2022 summit. He also had discussions with the CEO of Saudi Fund for Development, among others. Let's have more details of that in this report by Binta Jallo.
President Barrow arrived in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on Wednesday and began his engagement with a visit to the Prophet's mosque in Medina. The next day, the President went to Mecca to perform Umrah at the Grand Mosque. During his stay in Mecca, Barrow met the President of the Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Banda Hajar, and discussed relations between the two countries. Hajar was briefed by the Gambian President on the profound impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on all economic and social sectors in the Gambia, especially with regard to the tourism sector. Hajar welcomed Barrow in the kingdom, expressing his hope that the Gambia will soon resume its growth after the outbreak of the coronavirus, stressing that the bank will continue to support the country to achieve the aspirations of the Gambian people. The meeting tackled the development cooperation between the IDB and the Gambia in various sectors. The Gambian leader and his accompanying delegation later moved to Riyadh on Sunday. They were received at the King Khalid International Airport by Riyadh Governor Prince Faisal bin Bandar bin Abdul Aziz. On the same day, Barrow held talks with Youssef Al-Othman, Secretary General of the Organization of the Islamic Cooperation, OIC, where he assured him that the Gambia is on track to host the next summit in 2022. The President also confirmed his dedication to the OIC's commitment to combating terrorism and extremism. According to President Barrow, the OIC project is at its final touches, but that did not go down well with most Gambians. Looking at the targeted areas of the OIC project, none has been worked on yet. But the OIC Gambia officials argued that the most important component of the summit is the hosting, and the rest of the projects can be completed even after the 2022 convergence. The President also met with the CEO of the Saudi Fund for Development, Sultan Abdulrahman Al Mas'ud, to discuss aspects of cooperation between the fund and the Gambian government, especially the development project financed by SFD and which contribute to achieving sustainable development in the West African country. The President expressed sincere thanks to the IDB for its continuous support to his country, noting that the projects of the bank are highly appreciated by the government and the people of the Gambia. In addition to other engagements, President Barrow also inaugurated the new Gambian Embassy and Ambassador's Residence, a project that must cost over $4 million. The new facility, according to him, will prevent Gambia from paying up to $100,000 per year to house its diplomatic mission in the kingdom. For iAfrica News, Binta Jallo.
Binta Jallo reporting there as President Barrow ends his week-long state visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, the National Assembly Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters has submitted reports on People with Disabilities Bill 2020, and the report was subsequently adopted. The bill, initially called Persons Living with Disabilities 2020, has been changed to Persons with Disabilities Bill 2020 and was put before the lawmakers for consideration. Our reporter Omar Ahmed Toure tells us more of that in this report.
This bill is placed before parliamentarians with the aim of bridging the inequalities between able and disabled persons. People living with disabilities was the initial name given to the bill that was introduced in 2020. It has now been changed to Persons with Disabilities, but not without sparking a debate at the National Assembly. Fatou Kinte, Gambia's Minister for Women's Affairs, Children and Social Welfare, who also looks after disabilities, explains the rationale behind the decision.
I've just been informed by our technicians that the earlier amendment, internationally, it is persons with disability, not persons living with disability.
However, the Sabasanjal parliamentarian Usman Toure disagrees.
People affected, for me, I want to believe that that is somehow discriminatory. It's somehow discriminatory because it's not friendly. And normally what most people propose is persons differently able. So there is no disability who cannot do something. You have some ability. But if you say person with disability, it means that person cannot do anything absolutely.
Alaji S. Dabo of Brikama North seconded the minister's suggestion of going by the international standards.
I think somehow we are not trying to open a new debate on this matter. I could recall this was strongly debated during our retreat. The expert that was sent to represent the disabled community also had the same position. That is the international standard for this is persons with disability, on code TWD. That's why we have that.
Nominated member Nde Yasin Seka Salah, who is representing the visually impaired persons at the National Assembly, has this to say on the matter.
We should not debate more on this. Since this is what people say, let's continue with what is happening. So for me, I don't have any issue with that.
In the end, the bill was amended to suit international standards as suggested by the Women's Affairs Minister. Persons with Disabilities Bill 2020 has intended provisions for healthcare, social support, education, employment, and promotion of basic rights for persons with disabilities. Section 33 of the Constitution recognizes equality of all persons before the law, while Section 216, subsection 2, provides for the establishment of policies that protects the rights and freedoms of the disabled to equitable social opportunities. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadu Toure.
From the report, the National Assembly matters now to some news in security. Now, addressing the 4th Infantry Battalion in Kanilai during his nationwide tour to military deployments, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambian Forces, Lieutenant General Yakuba Drame, stressed the need for unity among security forces in the country. The Army boss said there is a need for the security forces to work together in maintaining peace and stability in the country. And he has more details of that in this report.
The focus of the tour is not only centered on looking at the welfare of soldiers, as it includes discussion on military relations, tolerance among security forces. Crimes in the country are being tackled by security forces collectively depending on the mode of operation from each services. As these sister services work together for the maintenance of peace and order in the country, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Yakuba Drame, called for collective effort to maintain peace in the Gambia.
The inter-service relationship, how do we work closely with other services, is key. Today, no one institution can do it by themselves. There's a need for us to work with other services closely, i.e. immigration, police, SIS, National Drug Enforcement, immigration, etc. Today, the armed forces as an entity, we do not possess all what it takes to guarantee the peace and security of this country. We have strength, we equally have weaknesses. That is why there's the need, how do we consolidate on our strengths together? And how do we complement our weaknesses? If we do that, all of us together, we can have a very safe country. It means we have to work closely with the other security services. In my opinion, no one institution is better than the other.
CDS Drame also commended the patrol team in Kanilai for their relentless efforts in making sure the people live in peace. He added that the operation to restore sanity is gaining momentum, as most bandits are staying in their hideouts.
Let me commend the efforts of the patrol you conduct daily. I've been told that you conduct vigorous patrols along our borders, making sure that average Gambians live their dreams in peace and harmony. And equally, your colleagues in the greater Banjul areas, perhaps, if I may share with you, they are conducting what we call Operation Restore Sanity, basically trying to complement the efforts of the other security services. I'm happy to report so far the exercise is a resounding success. Those bandits, nowadays, they're hiding their ugly face.
The army boss assured Gambians that the armed forces will do all it takes to maintain peace in the country.
The aspect of peace and security should be the concern of every Gambian. Let me say well-meaning Gambians, anyway. But with us in the military, peace and security of this country should be our number one priority. We cannot afford to allow the peace to derail in this country. We will do everything it takes to maintain the peace and tranquility in this country.
The Chief of Defense Staff and his delegate proceeded to the Senegalese economic contingent, where he was welcomed with a quota. The CDS and the Senegalese troop command later held a closed-door meeting. The tour on Monday ended in Sibanor in the West Coast region, where the same meeting was held with troops deployed there. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Daisy Singh.
Gambia Chief of Defense Staff there, Lieutenant General Yakuba Drame, of course, emphasizing the need for the security forces to work together in maintaining peace and stability in the Gambia. Well, from that report here, we'll now take a break and come back shortly with the remaining of the stories. So we just will be right back.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and once again, many thanks for joining us. And we return to matters of the National Assembly, because the Minister of Fisheries appears at the National Assembly on Monday after being summoned by the National Assembly members to address the issue of the skyrocketing rise in fish prices in the local markets. In responding to the rise in fish prices, Minister Gomez said the existing laws does not allow them to determine or give the prices of which the fish vendors will sell the fish to the people. And here's more details of that in this report.
In 2017, Gambia signed a fishing and aquaculture agreement with the Senegalese government to strengthen the two countries' sisterly ties. During the National Assembly's second ordinary session on Monday the 28th, Musa Amunyasi, member for Fonyi Councillor, brought the motion without notice, Standing Order 53K of the Senegal-Gambia Fishing Agreement. Mr. Nyasi said the agreement was illegal, taking Section 79 of the Constitution of the Gambia to back his argument, and called on the Assembly to put an embargo on the agreement.
Honorable Speaker, rising on that motion, on that standing order 53K, I want to implore on this Honorable Assembly, Honorable Speaker, being guided by the Constitution of the Gambia, Section 79, as quoted by the Honorable Member for Serekunda, which makes it illegal for the Senegalo-Gambia fishing agreement to hold. As a result, I want to move the motion that this particular fishing agreement be put on a temporal suspension pending a thorough review either by the entire plenary or by the Select Committee on Environment.
Yakumba Jaite, a nominated member, has a different view as he accused the Fisheries Minister, James Gomez, of contempt. She said no agreement can be made without ratification, and as such, she asked the Assembly to stop the minister from going about the agreement until he brought it before the Assembly.
I think I have a different point. This matter, I would say, it's before us. The minister just stood here and informed us that they are doing something illegal. It's two options. Either we pass a resolution to find the minister in contempt, because this is contempt of the Assembly, because clearly agreements need to be ratified before they come into existence. Or if we are being nice, we ask the minister to stop implementing this agreement until it comes before us, because the information is in front of us that this is going on in this country and this is illegal. So I think we should immediately move and pass a resolution for him to stop implementing that agreement until it comes before us.
The member for Upper Salem, Alajimbo, just that the Parliament's order on an issue is to approve or disapprove. He said, since the minister has been informed that for the concessor to be constructive, he has to bring it in Parliament for correction.
Yeah, Honorable, I think this section is really very clear. Really, there is nothing before us. If a document is before us, like the Honorable Member has said, our purpose only is to reject or to accept. Now the minister has been told that for this agreement to be effective, he has to bring it to Parliament for ratification, like any other international agreement. I think what is proper is for us to tell the minister, as a matter of urgency, to bring that document here for ratification. And if, like he's saying, is at the end of the terms of the agreement, whatever it is, if it is at the end, come bring it here, we ratify it, or otherwise. So we cannot say, stop this, when we don't even know what is there. No, I'm just saying, we have not seen it yet. Yes, we have not seen any document here. How can I stop something that actually I have not seen? Something that actually I don't even know the contents of that particular document. I think
fish is an important source of omega-3 fatty acids. These nutrients keeps our heart and brain healthy. Most fish contain less than 5% fat, and even fatty fish have a fat content of just 15, similar to lean meat. This makes it an ideal choice for someone who is looking to lose or maintain their weight. For iAfrica News, I am Aisha Chow.
The fishing agreement between the Gambia and Senegal there raising concern among Gambians, including members of the National Assembly. Now, finally, tonight, villagers in Mandwar in the West Coast region have on Tuesday clashed over Alcala received an attestation of a voter registration in the said village. They accused the government of causing the commotion in the village and bringing problems among themselves. About 7 individuals were arrested and 3 others were injured, one of which was rushed to the hospital. Let's have more details of that in this report by Bint Jallo.
A village in the West Coast region had serious clashes among themselves earlier on Tuesday. The clash was between the people of Tuba Manduar and Manduar Mandinka. As tension escalated, the police intervention unit was deployed to arrest the situation, but ended up throwing tear gas to disperse the mob. The Independent Electoral Commission, Assistant Inspector General of Police, the National Assembly member for Marakisa constituency, and other senior government officials came to the village and held a meeting with some of the villagers to see ways of settling the problem, but their efforts bear no fruit. Fansumane, a younger brother to the village Alcalo, said the police went into his compound and threw tear gas at his pregnant wife, which led to her being rushed to the hospital immediately.
So brand wo kele don paral na da ka tiaga so fay mol kono registered la katante fon la suo kono na suo fele koma jang.
The police intervention unit came here and started throwing tear gas at us. They even went to my house where my pregnant wife was sitting at the time, and they threw tear gas at her. She fell on her stomach, and as we speak, she is at the hospital. This is what is happening here. Just look at the road. You can notice that a lot of them are standing here.
The National Assembly member for the constituency, Honorable Lamin Sane, said the situation is very alarming, further explaining the root cause of the problem.
Other places did their registration, no complaint. But why Manduar Tuba specifically? And they are claiming that I had this story, because that's why I want to go and meet the alkali, especially to hear from the horse's mouth whether he has been given that authority to be an alkali. Are they a village of their own, or they are within Manduara? So this is what I want to know. And why should they bring? Because 2016 there was election in Manduara here, and this was done smoothly. They were all registered here and they all voted here.
According to Bubakar Seka, the Alcalo of Tuba Manduar, they went through the right process but were attacked by the people of Manduar Mandinka.
When we went there to set up, they took our tables and threw it behind the mosque. We did not fight them or even quarrel with them. So they left and fought Umar and wounded him. And another boy called Ngali. They are at the hospital right now.
Attestation has been a problem in the country since the start of the voter registration process. About 7 people were arrested by the Gambia police force, and at least 3, namely Omar Sise, Ngari Gay and Maud Sise, were injured during the protests. For IFK News, Binta Jallo.
And from the report there by Binta Jallo, we finally bring this tonight's edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories as always as ever, you can visit on our website on africa.tv. But for now, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and do have a very pleasant night.
Cheapest phone in the Gambia, Afriphone, is back in a brand new style. Africell, the biggest and the best GSM operator in the Gambia, is setting trends once again.
Get an Afriphone for $350 only and receive 1 hour of free talk time spread over 3 months.
$350 is only you can get a dual SIM phone with a wireless FM radio, memory